Round 3 album is brand new. It is kind of like a stop motion. This animated movie just dropped on Netflix called Frankelda, and this movie, it is the first ever Mexican stop animation movie from Netflix. So this is very exciting. So this movie centers around Frankenda in 19th century. Frankenda, she is a very gifted writer, and she has all this imagination about this monster she's been seeing, and she's writing about it, but nobody believes her. So especially when she was little, her mother died and she was raised by her grandma. She kind of had this, I guess, sad, tragic childhood. So when she grows up and she becomes this gifted writer, and she's writing about all this monster, not knowing that they are real. So one day, basically, we see like her, like all the writing monster comes to life. And this movie, very nicely, it shows the audience two ram. One is Francesca, she's riding and she's singing, and another is this monster itself, their universe. And this ram, these monsters they're from, they need to get like the human fear. If they cannot get that, the ram will disappear, basically. So I thought personally, what is this movie is about? Like this story, wow, really, really very interesting. And I read that this movie, it is based on a book, so that's also really, really interesting. First act for this movie, I was so like hooked. I just like, wow, this is really is very interesting story. As the movie goes on, it became really, really very, like, it has a lot of plot twist and turn that I personally did not see it coming. So what I really liked in this movie is the story itself. I thought it was quite good and engaging. However, I feel like the stop animation for this movie, if you are not familiar with how a stop animation work and everything, it can be very weird, because some of this creature and the monster, the way they look, it can be very, very, it is creative. Same time, it can be very weird. They are, the way they act and everything. However, the storytelling so good in this movie. The story, it's so interesting and good. It's really overcome this stop animation's difficulty, even though it is bringing audience all this creature, fantasy tale to life. But still, these things does looks weird sometimes, that they did creep me out. The way they look at it's just the way they look. Sometimes they creeps me out. But still, because the story is so interesting, I was able to overlook it. And this is first ever animation from Netflix. This is really like the Mexican animation. It is quite impressive, honestly. Especially some of these creature designs are so impressive here that I was like really impressed by them. Especially, although I, once again, the monster, they do look creepy and weird. I do want to acknowledge that, because they're supposed to look like that. That is the other thing. They're supposed to look like that. That is the story require them to look like that. That's why they look like that. It's just that I felt personally creeped by them, which they're supposed to. Although I really liked also Frankelda, her storyline and her story itself. It is so tragic, same time so interesting, and her life is really was quite sad until she went into this ram, like this monster ram, and everything became too real for her. She's like, wow, what is going on? So Frankenda is very interesting character, and I really liked her a lot. But I also liked this monster's character. Like he is also very curious, and he was growing up watching her life and everything. Yeah, it is very, the way the story told here, so interesting, honestly. The two ram story at the end, how they all comes together. I feel like that is where it's really shine. This movie's shining point is the storytelling. So good. It's really, really good. Now I have to be honest here. A lot of people like Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio movie. I did not like that movie, honestly. I'm not a huge fan of a stop animation movie. I'm not fan of that, as you can tell from my review. Like, I don't enjoy them that much. However, I really liked this one, even though all this step animation often kept me out, which is within this movie storyline. Still, I thought this movie, it is looked so good. It's very creative looking movie. It's like really hard to ignore, that I personally was really invested in this story. So I was like, keep watching it. It's really, really very engaging story. I feel like this movie done better than Guillermo del Toro's movie Pinocchio. I know a lot of people will be mad for me to say this because that movie won Oscar, didn't it? Uh, but I will say this movie is way better. Not that this movie is Pinocchio or anything, but this is really is very interesting movie. I was really surprised how much I like. I feel like a lot of people will like this. But obviously, if you don't like stop animation, you will not like this. This is still for people who like a stop animation. And this was really good. I really liked. And that's my thought on this movie. Let me know in the comment. What do you think about this movie? If you enjoyed by this review, don't watch other reviews on other movies. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe. Until I see you next time, please take